here to talk about the quarterbacks, and we're going to start, obviously, with the starter, because when Drake Maye went down, there was no flag, right? We all saw the play. He got hit hard. One of his teammates tried to pick him up by the shoulder pads, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
And he was a little dizzy, a little wobbly, but he wanted to go back in the game.
Well, he stayed in the game for 4 plays, Steve, and there was the break between the quarters, that they let him come back out. And what happened, Steve, is that the NFL has that independent spotter. And they called down and they said, take him, we want to take a look at him. And then that put him in concussion protocol. Steve, I'm curious your thoughts. I mean, are you surprised that Drake was even limited and throwing today for a little bit at practice, which really, it gives him a chance, right?
It definitely gives him a chance because, there's different levels, right? You got to go through that concussion program.
That's right.
But I'm not surprised because here's a guy, right? You play football all your life, okay? So you get hit in the head, you understand all that. And now, obviously the NFL is taking a lot more serious. But when you get out there and you get hit, he wanted to go back in the game that day.
He did.
So now that it's a few days later, he definitely wants to play.
He wants to play, and I think the interesting part to me, Steve, is like all the examples. Usually, the majority of players, I don't know the exact numbers, but you go in concussion protocol, you usually miss a game and then come back the week after. But last year, Brock Purdy, the 49ers quarterback, there was an example where he was in the protocol and he played the next week. And sometimes those are situations where they're being extra cautious, and you progress through the protocol quicker as a result
than you go.
That.
And so we go from him, Drake Maye, to Jacoby Brissett, who's handled this thing. Boy, I'll tell you, special guy. So if Maye can't go, Joe Milton's a backup.
So Brissett would start, and they feel comfortable with him, Steve. I mean, he obviously started the first 5 games of the year, and his performance in the fourth quarter last week, sensational. That was as good as we've seen him play. So, Brissett would start, and then Joe Milton would come up and be the top backup. They're not going to bring in another quarterback to sign on the practice squad to provide that insurance. Oh, and by the way, Steve, if there was an emergency,
Hunter?
You saw Hunter in Nick's piece.
Hunter
Henry. He was throwing.
Yeah, I talked to him today.
What's the yardage?
He goes,
tell everyone what he said.
He goes, 67 yards. I said, what are you talking about? He goes, that's the farthest I can throw it.
That's so good.
67.
Great insight. Great behind-the-scenes stuff from Steve right there. Love it.
Thank you. All right, speaking of Hunter, no matter who starts at quarterback for the Pats, Hunter Henry has become a go-to guy for the gotta-have-it plays, right? Today, the tight end said he still wants to take his game to a completely another level.
I feel like I'm always trying to improve, always trying to get better, always trying to be an option for this team to rely on to in crucial situations I can come up hopefully big for this team. So but that's also in all areas. Like, I want to be reliable in the run game as much as I can, and sometimes if I have to do some dirty work in the pass blocking game, chips, anything, just want to be reliable for the team so that they can trust in me, basically.
Mike, I got a chance. I just want to tell people this. I got a chance to talk to Hunter one-on-one today, and I asked him, why have you become the go-to guy? He goes, I like to relate to both quarterbacks, all the quarterbacks for that matter, but I like to think the way they think.
Really interesting.
Yeah, I like to think the way they think. I like in a play, I'm trying to get on their mindset. If I have to sit down in an open area, I go to that open area.
This guy's a true pro, Steve. And his connection with Drake Maye reminds me that in 2020, when Justin Herbert came out.
He's got that first down symbol.
He does. That's right for our show. Way to go, Hunter. 32 catches for 358 yards on the season, both team highs. He's got the 1 touchdown catch, Steve. And I think, I was thinking back to when he was with the Chargers. Justin Herbert came in as a first-round pick, number 5 overall, and Hunter and him really had a connection together. And then Hunter came here. He had a little bit of that with Mac, Mac Jones. But I think with Drake, it reminds me a little bit of what I remember him with the Chargers, with Herbert. And like you said, with Jacoby. Hunter's in his 9th season in the NFL.
So he gets it.
He's been around.
Yeah,
so he's got that also with Jacoby.
And you find out with Hunter, especially when a quarterback rolls out to his right or left, okay? So the flow is going to wherever the quarterback rolls out to. So you want to go, not necessarily against the flow, but you want to find a little pocket where the flow overtakes you and you find that pocket, and you just sit there.
I feel like he's got a great feel for the open space, Steve, right?
You put it better than I do.
No, I think you're right on it.
The open space is there.
The open space and keeping the plays alive, especially with Drake. And I'll give you one other thing on Hunter. He was at Boston College this week.
Nice.
As part of Athletes in Action, talking about his faith with Mark Herzlich. And they were over with the program there, and he said how much it meant to him. He had his wife with him.
Yeah.
And so sort of becoming, he's from Arkansas, played with the Chargers as we talked about, but is sort of becoming a little bit of a New Englander now in his 4th year here.
Captain too.